want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. Americans looking to travel by air domestically or enter federal government facilities without showing a United States passport will need to obtain a real ID, an updated driver's license that complies with new federal standards by May 3rd of 2023. Obtaining a real ID isn't mandatory for every United States citizen, and current driver's licenses aren't going away. States that are real ID compliant are still allowed to issue licenses that aren't considered real IDs. So it's important to clarify with the Department of Motor Vehicles that you are specifically requesting a real ID. The Department of Homeland Security advises people to mention it when making an in person appointment at the agency. Quote, it is mostly a matter of convenience. Most Americans are not accustomed to carrying their passports unless they are planning to leave the country. You would have to remember to bring it with you to visit a federal facility as well. DHS states that air travelers 18 and older will need a real ID compliant driver's license instead of a regular one in order to get past security checkpoints to fly domestically. Due to the pandemic, the original October 1st deadline to obtain a real ID was moved up to May 3rd of 2023. Those with a TSA pre-check or who have enrolled in Clear will still need a real ID or other acceptable forms of identification to fly domestically. Anyone without the proper identification will be turned away at the security checkpoint. And children under the age of 18, however, will not be required to obtain a real ID. The Transportation Security Administration does not require children to provide identification when traveling domestically with a companion. Moreover, the federal government claims that the new standards are not for the purposes of obtaining new and more detailed information on American citizens. Rather, officials state that the purpose is to make documents more consistent and secure. Quote, Real ID does not create a federal database of driver's license information. Each jurisdiction continues to issue its own unique licenses, maintains its own records, and controls who gets access to those records and under what circumstances. All right, so I'm just going to put on my conspiracy theorist hat, right? Whenever the government tells you that it is not specifically for something, it's exactly for that reason. Remember, this all stemmed from 9/11, right? That was from those attacks that took place, right? When we had the Patriot Act and all of those things. Back when people gave the warning signs and told people, like, hey, if you basically follow through with the government, you're signing over all your rights and they're going to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. And people said, no, 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 you guys are conspiracy theorists, yada, yada, yada. And as the decades, as the years kept going by, we started getting more information, finding out that the government and other organizations, telecommunications companies, were selling and giving away information. The government was reading emails, listening in on calls, listening to your cell phone, looking at your text messages, all of these different types of things. And then we had all these types of data breaches and these data leaks. And we started having things go wrong with email companies getting hacked. And like I said, it was a lot of stuff taking place. A lot of stuff taking place. But remember, this was all under the disguise of, hey, we're going to make you more safe. Just, allow us a little bit more leg room to, do a little bit more things. It might be a little bit invasive, but it is for the safety of the country because you already saw what happened, right? So what do you really have to lose, right? That's what the government stated. And we lost a lot. Now it doesn't seem like we lost a lot now because we're so used to it. But I'm pretty sure if you were to, have people from that specific timeline just come directly into this timeline, skip over everything else, but come directly into this timeline and then look at the things that the government has been able to do and has been doing, they would, more than likely start throwing up some pitchforks and some torches. I can promise you on that one. So this is what we have right now, right? The real ID. This is going to be the new wave. This is one of the things that I told people during the pandemic that they were going to start to issue or try to issue. Just so happens that they weren't able to do it during those times because people couldn't go in person. And for a lot of these things, you have to be in person. You have to have, a lot of paperwork and yada, yada, yada. And then, it takes a little bit of time and, then you'll just so happen to get what it is that you need. The other thing that I told people that was going to transpire was the fact of the digital ID as well. Um, had some people say some things on that, but and as I told people before, I'll let mainstream media in the sense of form and tell you because once they tell you, then people will actually believe that it is real. Because the only way for people to actually believe the news is if it is given and coming directly from a Caucasian face. So hey, or better yet, just watch an episode of Black Mirror, and you might actually understand where a lot of this thing, well, I'm sorry, a lot of these things, are actually going to go. So it's better to be forewarned and know ahead of time so that you can properly prepare, or do the things that you need to do, and work with it or whatever. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.